Hello, hello. Welcome to my home office. I am, after the Super Bowl, a brutal day of watching football. That was hard to watch and hard to sit down that long. I'm telling you, looking at stats today is incredible to see what is happening in our real estate market right now in Clark County. I have gone through, and this is what I do pretty much every single Monday because I need to know exactly what's happening for you guys that have chosen us to represent you on the sell side or on the buy side. That way, you're getting the best prices and you know when to pull the trigger on a potential home. So, first of all, um, what an amazing last month we had. And I say January, the amount of people that were walking through homes, we definitely saw a massive uptick. And one of the things, if you work with me, you hear me talk about this all the time. And if you're going to work with me, you're going to hear me talk about this quite a bit. I talk about lock boxes being opened because just the amount of lock boxes being opened tells me that things are starting to happen. Now, if lock boxes start slowing down, that means we're going to start seeing less pendings, less solds. But as lock boxes start to open up more and more and more and more, that means, guys, things are going to start picking up. So I'm going to go back as far as, and I'm sorry you can't really see my computer, but the green basically side, that's the Washington side, so the Clark County side, and then the blue is the Oregon side. We're going to focus on the green today, just because there's been some crazy things that happened since the beginning of the year. Basically, right around Christmas time, which is very common, the week of Christmas, we saw a 32% rate or lock boxes, less lock boxes being open. That's super common because it's Christmas and a lot of people aren't thinking about looking at houses at that time. Which basically 32%, a total of 1,365 people opened a lockbox in that week of Christmas time. So that's crazy low. But then we saw a giant uptick come the week after at 31.6% of people walking through homes again. So that is a very encouraging number for the new year and what 2025 is going to bring. We had 1,700 people walk through homes. That still is not that much, in my opinion. I think 1,700 is low. But this is the crazy thing. In week two, the first full week we had in January, we had another 31.1% jump in people walking through homes. And that is a total of 2,300 people walking through homes that first week of January. That's a decent amount, especially when you go back to back weeks of 31% increase of people walking through. And then again, we're going to skip to inauguration week. We end up seeing just a 2.2% bump up. So it keeps climbing. So we're at 20, just under 2,500 people walk through homes the week of the inauguration. And then, guys, the week, and this is the last week that we actually have on with the stats. This last week of February will come out here in the next couple of days. But the week of March 26th through February 2nd, we had another 12.5% increase to just under 3,000 people walking through homes. Guys, in the Northwest, that is phenomenal. We've had multiple weeks in a row with more people and more people walking through homes. And one of the things that's really interesting, I can see the days most of these people are walking through, and most of the days are weekdays. But it makes a lot of sense. And this is why it's weekdays and not weekends. Because teams like mine, we hold multiple open houses on the weekends, and we have dozens of buyers walk through those open houses. So even though the weekdays appear to be the most amount of people walking through those homes, we're seeing actually a ton of people walking through open houses. In fact, in January, we had 3 open houses with over 25 people walking through each one. Guys, that is more than any single open house we had in the whole year of 2024. So, what does that mean? 2025, even though we're in the middle of winter in February right now, the coldest month of the year, we're still seeing the amount of activity that we're seeing. Spring is going to be crazy. And I know I've said this multiple times. I walk through, I do these lives. I usually am walking through a luxury home or promoting one of our personal listings, walking through a neighborhood, talking to about a neighborhood. But guys, the marketplace is changing. We are seeing, and we're not seeing interest rates drop. That's the one thing everybody's like, once interest rates drop, you're going to start seeing a rush. We've been 5 years since basically that first COVID outbreak. In fact, I believe March 13th will be the 5-year anniversary since COVID started. It's every 5 years that you start to see big turns in a marketplace. So we're already seeing that starting. And guess what? The interest rates back then being at 2.75%, and now we're at 7%, but we're still seeing that uptick. I'm telling you, we don't even need necessarily interest rates to go down to see that turnaround, because there's massive, massive pent up demand for people to come out and look at real estate and then even pull the trigger. There's more equity in people's homes than there's ever been before. So what we're seeing here right now, especially in the luxury market, like we're receiving offers on properties that are $1.5 million. We're getting $1 million down, and then they're only financing 500,000. So that's a really common thing we're seeing right now. And the buyers, guys, they are 100% coming from California right now. And I know during the wildfires, absolutely brutal what happened down there. We're going to be talking about this a lot this year, because we're going to constantly be seeing more and more people coming up here. And the main reason why is not necessarily the fires or people that have lost their homes why they're coming here. It's because the insurance companies, those insurance companies in California, they're literally backing out. The top 3 insurance companies backed out of California. And so the littler insurance companies are coming in and saying, well, we got to charge more. And so some of these companies are charging $100,000 a year just for fire insurance on a $5 million home. And there's talk that they're going to be doubling that. So with just that news of what the insurance companies are doing, people are looking for another place to move. And the main locations they're moving to are Texas, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Nevada. So if you're paying attention, you're going to start seeing more and more people walking through these open. I'm really, really going to encourage you that if you're serious about potentially buying or selling, you need to, if you're a buyer, I would want to do it personally. I would want to do it sooner than later. That's just me. I think the next 7 to 10 weeks are going to be your sweet spot. And then you're going to start competing a lot. But then if you are a seller, I like the idea of, hey, reach out to a top broker that knows what they're doing, that knows the stats, that knows what the market's doing, and then get an idea of the best time to go to market. I personally believe it's going to be somewhere between that late March to mid-April timeline to go to market, which if you're looking at what time it is in the market right now, we're already in February 10th right now. So that's right around the corner. The weather's going to start changing. Don't wait until everybody's on the market before you go to market. I think it's a good idea to get ahead of it. I would like to say this too. I think we're going to see a really interesting real estate market, because we're seeing more people with more money. In 2024, there were more people purchasing real estate with cash than in any other year ever. That is crazy to think. And then one of the saddest stats that I saw was the average first-time home buyer age in 2023 was 28 years old. And that tends to fluctuate up and down. When the market's not great, it goes up, but usually fluctuates between a year or two. But in 2024, that jumped 7 years. That is insane. The average first-time home buyer, that means, was buying at 35 years old. That is a harsh pill to swallow, because, I mean, if you're like me, you want to own your home if you have the opportunity to. And guess what? Another crazy stat: the average person net worth that doesn't own a home. And again, this is average. So if you're worth 10 times more than this and you don't own a home, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the average. But the average person that owns a home or that does not own a home, their net worth is like $10,000. That's their net worth. And then if you look at the average person that owns a home, and again, it's average. You might own a home and you might have bought it bad and might be upside down, but this is the average. Your net worth is over $150,000. And so like, just think about that. If you own a home, your net worth is naturally going to be potentially 15 times greater than someone that doesn't. Guys, there's money in equity, there's money in ownership, there's money in having the opportunity to grow net wealth or grow wealth. So these are all things you need to think about as a potential buyer, as a potential homeowner, as a friend that knows somebody that's been thinking about buying. You might want to just shove them in that direction to purchase. Look, it's not easy to purchase a home. It's not easy to get lending. It's not easy to go through that whole process. But guess what? Anything worth anything is not going to be easy. So I highly recommend get in the marketplace, talk to someone that knows what they're talking about, get into education, educate yourself, start looking at what homes are worth, walk through open houses. We have tons of open houses every single week. They're free to walk through. You should walk through them. You should get information, talk to a lender, reach out to a good real estate broker, and I will gladly introduce you to a top lender that will give you the best information. And they might tell you, hey, don't buy this year, buy next year because you got to do X, Y, and Z to get ready. You should definitely do that. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate you that comment. And I will say this, if there's ever any additional questions that you have regarding real estate, timing, stats, what's happening, should I buy, should I sell? Please reach out. I'm more than happy to help in any way that I can. I am here to be of service to those of you that are trying to make up your mind whether it's time to buy or sell. And I want you to win. I want you to win in 2024, 2025, because 2024 is behind us and a lot of people lost. This year, we're all going to win. So give me a call if you guys ever need anything. You also have my information on social media. You can follow me there. And thank you all for watching. I always am so grateful for the views, the comments, and then just anything I can do to help. I'm here for you. So I will catch you on the next one. We have a couple of cool lives that are going to come up on some luxury, beautiful homes. And again, you might not be able to afford a luxury home, but you should be checking these things out. I mean, get a dream and then put a plan behind it and go get that thing. So I'll catch you on the next live. Thank you so much for